This historical project started about 4 years ago when I paid a visit to the Nottinghamshire Archives to uncover the history of the building. And what I found was astonishing, because it was commissioned by a very interesting man called Samuel Morley for his flourishing textile company, Morley. And the more I discovered and the more research I made, the more fascinated I became with this largely forgotten legacy in the city and across England. And it came to light that he was a social reformer in the truest sense, and was an activist of human rights, a model employer, a member of parliament, and a great giver to arts and culture, and gave very generously across the UK. After months and months of research, I then started to put together a project that would highlight the relevance of Samuel Morley today and the lessons we can learn from somebody who was very much ahead of their time. In 2014, I curated an exhibition called The House of the Flying Wheel, which also launched this upper space that you can see now, the gallery. And part of that project was unveiling and opening up the unique architecture of the building, but also creating, through the eyes of contemporary artists, a 21st century portrait of Samuel Morley. And the exhibition featured works by local artists, national artists, and internationally acclaimed artists. Yinka Shonibar, Darren Banks, Mark Davey, Tracy McMaster, and Julian Wilde. And there was also a commission by a Nottinghamshire-born performance artist, Tracy Kelly. So with this exhibition, we were telling Nottinghamshire audiences about Samuel Morley and about the history of the building, and that it's still being used today by artists in studios to produce and manufacture and be creative. The exhibition was then toured to the Morley College in London, in Westminster, and was an opportunity to educate the people at Morley College about this wonderful character, Samuel Morley, who at the time they knew very little about. That project then brought about more research and more information. And following that, we then started to pinpoint and approach people that had worked in the Morley factories and that had some kind of relationship or association in the local area or to this pioneering textile brand. We found amazing information in the archives and through personal histories about the Morley brand and how prominent it was and how successful it was. It produced 6% of the industry's output for many, many years and made the underwear for Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth II. The project has since kind of spanned out across local residents, and they've become very socially active with Backlit, and we've been discussing and approaching different ways to kind of bring together arts, heritage and community, and there's been some really interesting discussions that have been had. There's also been a wonderful legacy to the project where the community ambassadors now call themselves the Morley Union, and they're very much a part of Backlit's positioning in the community, and we're very proud of that. We've also brought Morley and Einar Morley to the public in the 21st century. There's been significant press and interviews and news features that have highlighted how important Samuel Morley is to Nottingham and also to industry today. Backlit's changed considerably over the duration of this project. We now have taken Morley's ethos and made it part of our own. Backlit is definitely more socially active and engaged with the local residents. We are now an arts and community resource that can manage and develop a legacy of Samuel Morley. The building in itself is almost a monument to him. We also have such wonderful assets now that are online and also in-house that people can experience and enjoy and be part of that narrative. In the future, if anybody has any stories that are related to Samuel Morley or to Einar Morley, the textile company, please do get in touch and let us know. We'd love to hear from you.